Well, I'm here as an international collaborator on this project because I've worked on this sea urchin before as a postdoctoral fellow, and so I have a little bit of experience with working with this sea urchin. Yeah, and it sort of came about as part of my university teaching because every year I update my lectures into what's going on and what's topical, and this was in a lecture that I was giving on the open oceans, and I had seen there been a lot of stuff in the news about the North Pacific garbage patch, and so I was incorporating some graphics that I had found to make my lecture more lively for the students and try and emphasise to them that the plastics in the ocean was a problem. And there had been work done by a geology professor at Auckland a few years ago on plastics that were of a smaller kind, and I thought, oh, somebody must have done some research on this recently, and so I went and looked and I couldn't find anything very new, and then I dropped in at the supermarket on the way home because one of the sources of plastics that he had talked about in this paper was that came in hand washes, like, you know, when mechanics want to wash oil off their hands. And I don't know why, I went down the cleanser aisle at the supermarket and noticed that nearly every single brand of facial cleanser that was sold in the supermarket contained plastic. And this was a bit of a shock to me because this had happened by stealth. Something that was rare was now exceedingly common and the public doesn't really know about it. And that's what inspired the research. Well, one of the key things that we need to do is to find out how prevalent these obviously are in the environment, and also to have a better understanding if our wastewater plants can capture them or not, because most of the wastewater plants use some kind of sinking or sedimentation to get rid of the nasties from our wastewater, where these are polyethylene plastic which floats, which isn't necessarily what the wastewater systems have been designed to do. So there's about 1 million questions you could ask about who eats them, what are the consequences of eating them in the plankton, to how prevalent they are in the environment, especially around major cities where there's a lot of people are going to be using these products. The one thing that you want to do is, if you are thinking of using a facial cleansing product and you don't want to use one that contains plastic, what you want to do is read the ingredients list, and if it's got polyethylene on there, then it has got plastic in, bottom line. So if you don't want a plastic containing product, if it's got polyethylene listed in the ingredient list, it'll be usually in the first 10 ingredients or so, and it's in quite small writing, so you'll have to be quite vigilant about it. But if it says polyethylene, then it's got a plastic in there, and you might want to choose another product.